John had Donut on his channel, and he starts scrolling through Donut's channel to make fun of it. As always with John, he doesn't listen or let the other person speak, and when they start making points, he drops them, which of course he did. So I thought, how about we do a fair comparison of these channels to see who we should be laughing about? Let's start with uploads. But to compare that, we first have to look at the start date of these channels. Donut started in August of 2022, so 1 year and 4 months ago, or 16 months ago. John started in March of 2018. Side point, not 10, not 12, not 16 years ago like he claims when he's drunk. But still, he's less than 4 months away from 6 years. Let's keep this in mind as we go through the numbers. Look at how many uploads Donut has. 512, or 32 per month, to John's 463, or 6.71 per month. Y'all know exactly why John's numbers are so low for him being on here for such a long time. It's all them dirty deletes. Those overnight drunk, doxing, singing, lying, fighting, ridiculous lives that he wakes up and deletes once he sobers up. So, for content amount, Donut wins, John loses. And Donut wins by almost 5 times. This is what you can do when you're intelligent and sober and actually talk about new, interesting things instead of telling the same dried up old stories over and over and over and over again about your glory days and all the bad things that's happened to you in your life. Now, let's move to subscribers. John is stuck, and I mean stuck, at 36.4K. Donut has 46% as many as John. He's almost halfway there in 16 months. That's an average of over 1K per month. Now look at John. 36.4K divided by 69 months is an average of only 527.5 per month. Now, let's remember, John brags about all the hundreds of thousands of followers he has. Where are they? Because they're not here. He brags about all them articles he's been named in. That makes his numbers even more embarrassing. Anyone with that many mentions should have millions by now. Millions. How embarrassing. So for subs, Donut's 105K beats John's 527.5 by almost twice. Again, Donut wins, John loses. On to video views. 1,548,663 for Donut, or an average of 96,791 per month. What he kept trying to tell geriatric John was he's in the shorts community. John forgets he's an old guy now, and he has not kept up with trends. We're talking about the man who did the electric slide on TikTok. Nothing tells us you are decades behind like that right there. Just look when he made fun of Nikki for not having HBO. Millennials and Gen Z don't buy cable. They stream, and they spend way more time on shorts, TikTok, and Reels than they wouldn't even watch a 3 to 6 hour live on YouTube. So it didn't occur to John to look at shorts. Let's look at John's now. His views are 4,936,609, or an average of 71,545 views per month. So for views, Donut beats John by 25,246 views per month. Donut wins big. John loses. Next, we've got the monthly stats where Donut gains 34 plus subs every day, 238 plus subs every week, and over 1K per month new subs. John still stuck where he's been for almost a year with 4 per day, 28 per week, and only 100 for the whole month. But yeah, he's in the industry. Big time celebrity blogger, mentioned in all the magazines, with all the tea. And these views, Donut has almost as much in 1 week as John does in a month. Why? Donut busts his butt putting out content. What has John's content been just in this month? Any breaking news? Any cast info? Any enjoyable review of a show? How many times did he mention his mama? How many times did he show his arms? How many times did he show old, bloody photos? How many times did he show his commode? How many times did he talk about his missed opportunities, his fake S, his fake masters, and his fake teaching job? Yes, I challenge you, John Yates, to show your master's degree once and for all. And to show any proof at all that you were an actual teacher for one day in your life. Not a substitute teacher, an actual teacher. 'Cause I ain't never seen you listed in the licensed teachers in the entire state of New York and New Jersey, and you must register your license to teach. Even if it's expired, it should still be there. It's not there. Prove it, John, you liar. In addition, prove you were valedictorian, and prove you were captain of the tennis team with your awkward self. Please, you're always asking, what do you want from me? This is what we want. Because I don't believe you have a master's at all, and I know you were never a teacher. The others, just because you're a proven liar, so I want proof that you're not lying about these things. The master shouldn't be hard. Supposedly it's hanging on your wall. Send Jody to fetch it since he's the fetcher. This is what we want. This is what we want to see. Next time you're drunk in the middle of the night screaming into the YouTube, what do you want from me? This, I'm telling you now, this is what we want. Shouldn't be hard. Show it or shut up about it. Finally, YouTube has a future predictions of where you should expect to be at certain points in your career. This is based on your channel's growth. If you're rising quickly, the numbers are higher. If you're stuck, they barely grow. In any case, they're usually more optimistic than most channels ever reach, so I doubt John will get anywhere near this. But how funny is that? Donat wins again, with the prediction of over 311,000 subs and over 108 million views, while John, and we know he won't get there, is forecast to be 140k subs, less than half, and over 27 million views. That ain't never gonna happen. Let's check back next December on this. No one has had more chances than John, and he's blown every single one. Why? I don't believe in karma. I'm not Buddhist, and the actual teaching of karma is about what happens in your next life. I believe in reap what you sow. When you pull out beads and pray for someone's death, or celebrate someone's death, or say things like, you can't are the willing, even if that woman you said it about is stupid enough to come back to you, you'll reap it. When you wish ill on children, or threaten children, or rejoice when children lost their mama, you'll reap it. When you turn on every single person that's ever been kind enough to help you, you'll reap it. When you use older women as your personal ATM, you'll reap it. When you call the Lord your effing God and Jesus effing Christ, you'll reap it. You want blessings? Sow it. You're a monster, John Yates, and I'm happy to see many people taking up the fight to expose you for it, because you are a cruel, horrible man, and you have been for so many years and been getting away with it. Personally, I'm outgrowing you. You were the source of my school project, but my life is moving on to wonderful things. I haven't had time for you, but when I do get a moment like this winter break, I see you are in exactly the same place you were when I left as when I started. You'll be 45 in a few months, sir. Ain't you tired? Is this what you want for the rest of your miserable life? You pretend you don't deserve any of this, but you're a vile poison that has hurt so many people. And why? You say you react to everyone being mean? No one on YouTube has this many fights with this many people. Reaction? You can say that to your new hags who don't know. But how many people have you wished death on at this point? For years, when you got your start way back on Twitter. I didn't know you then. I was still in high school. But you were out there talking. I've heard the recording. You were talking about shooting some woman in the head and burying her under your house. Lost your Periscope because of it, I think. Not sure. I know you lost your Periscope. I heard you say something about shooting that woman in the head. You have been doing this since you have had a platform. None of your so-called haters have ever gone as far as you have. We have video after video of you wishing death and sickness on various people from cast to bloggers to ex-friends of yours, and then talking about shitting on their graves and the things you would do to their graves and their dead bodies. That's sick, John. No one else does that. We have screenshots of you posting multiple people and their loved ones, their phone numbers, their addresses, their work information, and asking your hag army to call. No one else does that. There's proof of these things, John. There's video of you calling people's work yourself. There's video of you calling police. Then you want to pretend you're innocent and being attacked for no reason? I have personally seen you post a woman's information who worked for the Canadian government because you wrongly thought an Instagram account was her, but you, as usual, were wrong. You never apologized. You never told your hags to call back and apologize or retract their statements. I watched with my own eyes you hover over the home of a woman with a small child in her house because she correctly reported you for having children on an adult website. And if it was incorrect, why did you lose that account? It went against the rules and you knew it. But you were so mad you hovered over her home on Google Earth with thousands of people watching. You posted every relative of hers phone numbers and addresses, was threatening to call her mama and daddy, including a recently deceased uncle, and told your hag army to call them. You posted every neighbor on her block and told your hags to call them. No one else does that. You love to talk about Home Depot Jen, and I can't stand her either, because the things that I saw that she did to people, in your name by the way, when she was your head hag, but she welcomed you into her home. Crazy or not, she fed you and took you in when you were homeless and begging for somebody to take you in. You beat Cody in her home with her little boy there. Stop lying and stop making him lie for you. You know you did. How many times since have we seen y'all bruise each other or make each other bleed or threaten each other, toss each other around? You know you did that. He made a multi-page police report with all the details and mentioned past instances like you busting a wine glass on his head. The bruises were documented along the way. And then you went all out on her because she knew the truth about you. You doxed her knowing she had a little boy in her house, a little boy you claimed you cared about. She deserved everything she got, but her son does not. And when you attack a mama of a small child, you harm the child too, especially when you're out there posting addresses. No one else does that. You had your hag army call Yahoo Boy's wife's job, and not just any job, a job at a cancer hospital in the middle of a pandemic because you were mad at him. She didn't have nothing to do with your fight. Neither did their little toddler that you knew was in their home, that would have suffered had she lost her job, had anybody listened to you and your crazy hags. No one else does that, but you did it, and now you're reaping it. You've posted multiple people's financial information, outed their orientation, posted maps to people's homes, their families, their Facebook pages, talked about their yeast infections, their grandchildren's, their children's suicide. There is no limit to what you'll post. And you are the only one that does that. And you are reaping it, sir. When my friends and I started Fan Club, people came from everywhere with videos, screenshots, and stories of things you'd done to them, all backed up with proof. We haven't shown half of it because we swore we would never reveal them, and we're not like you. We posted what we could without bringing more harm to your victims, but your cow had to bring it down to please you because you didn't want the proof of the things you've done to follow you. But we grew and grew and grew, and we were able to share the stories we could share and post the things you wanted to delete so that people could see what you really are. Most of the cast won't come anywhere near you. Your hags believe you when you brag about having connections to them. You used to, sir. To some of them. But that was a long time ago. Long before people saw what she was really about. Back when you did this nonsense on Instagram overnight and delete it. All the decent people were sleeping. Never saw it. But they've seen it now. Some of them casts have been forced to meet you because you show up in places they are like some kind of weirdo. Others have been contacted by you directly, and though they do not like you one bit, they keep peaceful to your face so you don't attack them the way they've seen you attack other cast. That's your reputation with cast, sir. You're not the only one who's spoken to or met them. They have told us lots. You're an annoying pariah that smells like bad breath and dirty boo-hole. That's your reputation with cast. You fat-shamed, fertility-shamed, look-shamed so many women while sitting there with your tiny head, bloated belly, multiple chins, 4.5 bottom teeth, 2 dangling molars, and the rest fake. You're filthy, you're stanky, you're nasty, you got creepy fingers with literal foam coming out your mouth. You bash and mock everyone else in your own community, but you lose it when anyone bashes you for being gay. You think only being gay should be recognized because that's what you are, but none of the other stuff. You're special. The rules are always different for you. It's your own community. And you bash, but don't let anybody say anything about you. Only the G's protected to you. You doxed some woman from Twitter that I've never even heard of, along with a woman from Reddit that you thought was me. You posted names and addresses of people I have no idea who they were. You were dead wrong, as you and your ignorant hags always are. Did you apologize to them women? Did you try to retract it? Did you offer to try to make it right in any way when you found out you was wrong? Again? Of course not. Just like you never did to any of the others that you falsely doxed. You doxed the heck out of that dentist. You outed him. He's not Glenn Crack. He forgot about you a long time ago. You seriously think your enemies from all them years ago ever give you a thought? You're a joke. You really think there's only the same 6 people don't like you? You talk about how everybody else is making money off your name and you can't make money off your own name. Why do you think that is? Why do you think all the streams about you were filled up? People getting super chats for it in addition to the money they make off of YouTube. Why do you think? People don't like you. We had thousands of members on the original fan club. You pile up all the subscribers and followers of all your hate accounts, as you call them. We're not hate accounts. We're people who hold you accountable for the things you've done. But count up how many people hate you. Hate you so much, they give money to people that expose you. Think about that. You are reaping. There is a huge amount of people that these accounts could be from, and you always think you can narrow it down to the original 6 people who didn't like you, when there are thousands of people who don't like you. These accounts could be any one of them. You are a joke. If you think these old enemies of yours from years ago, like Tony, if you think that you ever cross their mind, all they have to do is look at your current state of living and know they won by a long shot. You sit there with 12 people who like you and a couple hundred who are there to laugh at you, record you, and watch as you reap what you sowed. You think you win because you say cruel things? Sir, look at yourself. You don't even remember the things you've done in your blackout drunken state on your lives. Ask your new buddy Geneva. She made a whole website of your entire live history and used to supply it to anyone who wanted it. I'm sure she'll share your greatest hits with you. No one takes you seriously. You are the biggest joke on YouTube because you take yourself seriously and honestly say things like, I'm in the industry, that you're a big shot, that you're in show business, that everyone's jealous of you. You and your ignorant hags will sit there and talk about what other people are doing at Christmas. Meanwhile, you're the one that's hate streaming more than anyone else right now at Christmas, going all night, every night, this panel, that panel, your own panel. Why doesn't it count when it's you? Y'all are the ones doing the most. Y'all mock people for using index cards and a board that every good mom or grandma or babysitter has laying around on any given day, as if it's so bizarre. Yet you'll sit there drooling, scrolling through years of private texts and screenshots that you've saved to show because you've saved every single one for the past decade. And that's not bizarre? These people were your friends. They said this stuff to you as your friend, in confidence, but you sat there saving it all to use it as weapons in the future in your own self-named vault. Because you know what kind of person you are. You know you're going to fall out with these people. And you sit there prepared. The more information they give you, the bigger your file on them. I've got index cards. I've got construction paper, foam board, paints, artist paper, a laminator, hole punches, binders, brad clips. A whole office depot in my office. I have so much stuff left over from my childhood that was preserved and cherished by people who loved me. There's nothing weird about moms and grands having that stuff in their homes, and nothing weird about using them as visual aids. How powerful it was to see all those names written down and stuck to that board. Of course you want to put it down. It's embarrassing, but you know every name on every one of those cards. You know what's weird? A kid's desk with backpacks, school paper, and Care Bears all around it. That's what's bizarre, not having index cards. Your buddy, Stupid Brooklyn, loves to say if my husband came home and saw me with index cards and a board, he would blah 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 blah. Why don't you have index cards in a bored Brooklyn? Do you spend time with your kids at all? Do you help them with their homework? Did you teach them words and colors when they were little? Or did you shove screens in their faces and do your own thing? And your husband wouldn't come home and think you needed help, seeing you on lives with a drunk who's sitting there doxing people and praying for their deaths and screaming his head off with spit coming out of his mouth and foam? He wouldn't come home and think you needed a little help if he saw you doing that? What would he say if he came home and heard you singing about how my mom's kids hate her? Would he think that's weird? You tried to say you didn't know who it was about when you sang it. Oh, come on. That whole song was about Brooke and you know it. But let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say you're that stupid and that you didn't realize. What kid would it have been okay to say that to? How would you react if your sons heard some middle-aged hag singing that they hate you? Would you like that? Would your sons like hearing that hideous panel of old ladies singing and including them in their song? That moment told me everything I needed to know about you as a person and you as a mom. A good mama wouldn't be doing that to any woman's children. Shame on you. You should be embarrassed. The next time you try to put yourself above someone else, John, stop for a moment. Take a quick inventory of your life and ask yourself whether or not you have anything over them besides a nasty vocabulary. I can't think of anyone in a lesser state than you, except maybe Siwa, only because she's living with relatives, ignoring her kids, and condoning your behavior. So you thought you got the last laugh about Donat? Take a look at these numbers again. 'Cause you're the only one needs to be laughed at. And now the biggest tale of all, the money. Donate on top, up to $931 a month, up to $11.2 thousand a year. You see his subscribers up and down like a healthy heartbeat. And then you see John on the bottom, just like he called him, up to $272 a month or $3.3 thousand a year, and a flat line subscribers. The numbers speak for themselves. Been at this for so long, and just a failing everything. Mr. Yates, you're canceled.